Welcome to the OLV Daily Reflection for Tuesday, February 15th. The first reading for today's daily Mass comes to us from the first chapter of the letter of St. James. It reads, "Blessed is he who perseveres in temptation, for when he has been proven he will receive the crown of life that is promised to those who love him. No one experiencing temptation should say, 'I am being tempted by God.' For God is not subject to temptation to evil, and he himself tempts no one. Rather, each person is tempted when lured and enticed by his desire. Then desire conceives and brings forth sin, and when sin reaches maturity, it gives birth to death. Do not be deceived, my beloved brothers and sisters. All good giving and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no alteration or shadow caused by change. He willed to give us birth by the word of truth, that we may be the kind of first fruits of his creatures." Today's reading gives us a couple things to pray and meditate about. I think especially as we look to our own lives and maybe as we get ready for this coming Lenten season. First of all, temptation is not something given to us by God. Temptation is something that is experienced in our lives because we do have desires, because there are things we want. There's things that truly have a hold on us that maybe we don't want them to have a hold on us. So therefore, the challenges with temptations is that they're not going to go away 100%, but how do we master them? Or in some senses, how do we change even what we desire so our temptations become less and less? So again, that's something that each of us have to kind of wrestle with in our own lives so that, again, we don't fall victim to the temptations that come from the experience of sin, but actually we learn to master them. And we can truly say to our own experience of temptation, no, I am in control, and with God's grace, I can truly bring my life more and more into my control. But again, there is this interesting part of ourselves where when we are tempted, we can almost blame God. Or at the very least, we get frustrated that we have the temptation and we just want more help to deal with the temptation. So we just need to be careful with that reality. Because as St. James reminds us, temptation does not come from God. God gives us all good gifts. Every wonderful, amazing thing in our life is a gift that God has given us. And again, these realities should cause us to always be in a constant state of thanksgiving to our God. But it is true that sometimes these good things, and sometimes the lack of good things, and sometimes our own ability to think can lead us down to dark paths, can lead us into temptation, can lead us into places where all of a sudden we're cooperating with sin and doing things we shouldn't. So little by little, day by day, we need to make sure that we are mastering our minds and our hearts more fully so that we don't give in to temptation, but truly allow God's grace to help us with control. But I think another reality that just needs to be mentioned today is that no matter how much we try, though, there will always be temptation. There will always be things that, for whatever reason, our minds and our hearts desire. And I think for some people, this is really discouraging. It can almost lead them to despair. Why am I like this? Why can't I change? Why do I have to struggle so much with temptation? And it's my hope and encouragement this day that maybe instead of going down that route in your heart and mind of why do I have to deal with temptation, and go down a different path that says, I'm tempted because I have good things in my life. I'm tempted because I have blessings that I do need to manage. I do have wonderful things that other people do not have. So again, temptation is a frustrating experience, and we all need to work to address it. But many of us are tempted simply because we have good things in our lives. Or, again, we look out and we forget how blessed we are with our own lives, our own abilities, our own skills, our own things that God has given us. So I think if we really want to wrap our hearts and minds around a solution to being people who fight against temptation, we begin by saying, I'm blessed. Every good gift is from God. And why do I want something else? Especially, why would I want any sin? And again, if we can do that, and we can truly allow our minds and hearts to be changed by an attitude of gratitude, we can make progress with temptations and truly change our lives. Our Lady of Victory, pray for us.